Disappointing result on the road there. We're going to hear your reactions now. Let's see what people are saying on Twitter. I think Arsenal's away record really shows the impact fans getting behind the team can make. Obviously, a team that really needs encouragement. We are a completely different team away from the Emirates. Beng says, Arsenal's away form is making sure the top 4 race is open to the end. They still have Watford, Leicester and Wolves away. Watford falls between the Napoli fixtures. So, Joel, Nigel, handing it over to you. What are your thoughts on that performance? Can you say anything? Do you have any words at all?
Yes, I think really the first half performance put us on the back foot. We were asking for a change of formation, bringing on the 2 players that came on. Initially, it had an impact. I think it opened up the game. We created 1 or 2 opportunities. But I think at the end of it, we're all the same. I'm exactly the same as everybody else. I'm a supporter now, and I'm scratching my head to try and wonder why our away form is just so poor. It really is frustrating because we're in a fabulous position to get inside the top 4, but if we continue our way form as we are, we're just going to come up short, and that's the real frustration for me at the moment.
Well, it's hard really because I'm trying to figure it out, and I just don't think that we came out quick enough. You know, I think besides the Lacazette chance that we spoke about in the first half, I think we were just slow the whole way through. We hardly looked as if we were going to threaten, even when Aubameyang came on. I just didn't feel it. Normally you think, right, Ramsey's on, we're going to stretch the defence, you know. I think Iwobi probably had the most impact, but it just wasn't enough, you know. I don't know what happened. I was trying to figure, I was asking you, I was like, are we tired? Because you would know more in this stage of the season. Is it tiredness? Is it just a bad day? What is it, you know? Because I thought the other teams did us a favour.
I think at the moment, I think there's a mental block there with our away form. When it continues so long, you have to say, this is so different to what we see the team at home for away. You expect to pick up more points at home than you do away, but we're not at that level of performance away from home. We're a good way away from where we need to be. And I think now it's becoming more of a mental issue for me that somehow the players themselves are going to have to deal with, because you can't always rely upon the manager. He can only work with a team in the week, make his tactical substitutions as he did at half-time and as the game's going on. And then it's down to the players to put in that shift to get the right results. So it's going to be an intriguing few weeks. It's going to tell us a lot about the team. And it's also going to tell Unai Emery what he needs to do for next season as well.
You touched on the mental block there. What do you think Everton did to block us from making those shots and really trying to get chances forward?
Well, first half, particularly, they were more energetic. They overpowered us. They were quicker to the ball. And then they got the goal from the set play, the long play, and they just looked a more confident team than we did, and that's very frustrating. And when you have a setback like that and you get pushed back, it's so difficult to try and change the way that you approach, particularly when you're not completely confident. As we talk about the away form, of course we're talking about that now because we've lost again. It's so difficult to change that mentality, and as I said to you, this team have got to find a winning combination away from home. But I feel today, as probably Joel feels as well, the start of the game, the first 45 minutes, put us right on the back foot. You know, it wasn't strong enough, the first half performance, and then we just couldn't, even with the changes, we couldn't force, particularly in the first 15 minutes, the second half. I thought we looked the better team. That's when we needed the goal to really give us that momentum, and then Everton towards the end came back into it as we started to. Well, we brought Iwobi on for another change. We put more attacking players on, left ourselves open a little bit, but we really didn't. I keep looking back, and we really didn't create that many chances, even with the changes.
I'll be honest with you, Nigel. I think just to sum up everything you said, especially when you're talking about Everton, they wanted it more. They wanted it more, way more than we did, and that's what was a little bit sad to see, because we're playing for a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
We're probably playing for more than Everton are. So I don't know. I'm just a little bit disappointed and a bit subdued at the moment with it all, to be honest.
Nigel, when you were a player, did you ever encounter kind of psychological blocks or periods at the teams you played at where you were having a difficult time, and how did you get over them?
Well, I think what you have to understand when you play at Arsenal, when I played, is, particularly in my period, is you went out with the mentality that you had to win every game. That's what a big club does. It has to try and win. There are periods when you don't play well, that if you're not playing well individually, you're looking for your teammates, or your teammates will help you by their performance. But this is, if you like, this away form is not a new thing. This is something that's happened or progressed over the last 2.5 seasons.
Really?
Well, last season was Arsenal's worst, I think, away from home with Arsene Wenger. I think that was the worst away form ever. We're not that much better off this season away from home. That says to me, something has to change very, very quickly in the near future if we are going to be a team that can progress into the top 4 and then progress even further in the coming seasons. And that's something I think that Unai Emery will already be looking at and analysing for next season in terms of the changes he's going to make. But just for this season, he's got to look at the situation now and think, who are the players that I can rely on to drive us forward away from home? Because at home, we look super confident. We're playing with so much confidence, and away from home, it looks as though we're devoid of a little bit of confidence. They've got to get that balance right, and unfortunately, I'm finding it difficult to see how they're going to do that at the moment. But I'm certainly hoping that in the next few weeks, coming before the end of the season, we can get that formula right.
There was one positive from the performance today. Leno, he made some incredible saves, and here's what you guys are saying. Leno and Ter Stegen from Barcelona have to be brothers. Sam says that's excellent from Leno, no guessing, just standing up, making himself big and letting the player decide. Clocken says, well done, Leno, good save and follow up. Joel, I'll come to you first. How impressive was our goalie today?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think he was fantastic today, and that's saying a lot, because even though he conceded, no one turns around and says it's his fault. I think the whole season he's just gotten better as the games have gone, and now he looks extremely confident. He looks like he commands his area. He looks like he's not afraid of telling the defenders what he wants, and he's a brilliant shot stopper, even better than I thought, to be honest with you. And if there's any positives today, I'll probably say it's Leno and maybe Maitland-Niles, but definitely Leno more than any other player on that pitch for Arsenal today.
Yeah, I think we're all looking at Leno when he came in. Czech started the season.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and then Leno came in.
Yeah.
He was outstanding. He had a little bit of a dip in form, but I think he's come out the other side of that so strong. And he's been, in the last few weeks, he's been absolutely outstanding again. Made some crucial saves. As I always say, big-time goalkeepers make important saves at the right time. Unfortunately, he made a couple of important saves today. But on the flip side of that, we didn't then go on and get the goal that we needed for at least a point, and that's the downside of it. When your goalie makes big saves, usually you go on and pick up a point, or it earns you 3 points. But unfortunately for Leno today, it didn't happen for us.
Looking forward, we have a potentially season-defining week. First, it will be Napoli at home in the quarter-finals of the Europa League, and then Watford away. Joel, Nigel, how crucial is a win in both of these matches for Arsenal's season?
You know, you almost don't need me to be sitting there in the seat to say anything. I think it's self-explanatory. I mean, big games. Two teams that have done fantastically well the whole season. And, you know, earlier on you were talking about Manager of the Year. Even, you know, the managers for those clubs could definitely be nominated for him, because the teams are playing with confidence. They're beating the big boys. And Arsenal, we're really going to have to be on top of our game if we're going to be playing those teams away and hoping for a win, because it's not going to be easy. It's not a joke. We're talking about Napoli, but those games are you know, I want to say just as big in the sense where it's its definition, it will define whether we go into the Champions League or not next year. So I'm just really hoping that we can show more fight and spirit than we did today. Sometimes when you lose, you're like, okay, you lost, you were unlucky. You know, if you look at Brighton against City, you can say, well done, boys. But today's loss really hurt because I just didn't see it. I didn't see the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, first of all, Napoli, when it's a Europa League game, cup competition, anything to 0 at home is a good score for me because you put the away team in so much pressure into the second leg. We have to now win. I think we now have to win the Watford game away from home. I just think that if we don't win that game, the momentum of getting into the top 4 mentally is going to put so much strain on this team. So we've two wins in the next few days. It has to be for me.
To round things up here, I'm going to ask you both for one word to describe the game today. I sense they're not going to be the most positive or uplifting, but anyway, I'll go to you first, Joel.
I thought you wanted to go to Nigel first because I was trying to find nice words. I think disappointing is the first thing that comes to my mind. Very disappointed.
Yeah, I would have said disappointed would have been the word that I'd have used, but frustrated as well.
OK, well, thanks to all our fans that have tuned in for all the action here. Thanks to our guests, Joel and Nigel. Obviously not the result we wanted, but we will be back here for the Napoli game from 7:30, so you can tune in then. See you soon.